Hi, I'm Colin Walls, and today I want to talk about an aspect of the C language for embedded developers. Specifically, I want to talk about the increment operator, the plus plus operator. It's something we all use, something we all think we understand, but it has some subtle features that are well worth paying attention to if you're an embedded developer, because we're talking about efficiency of code, and the efficiency and size of code are key issues for embedded developers. So the plus plus operator comes in two forms. There is the pre-increment and the post-increment. So which do we choose? Do we do plus plus I or I plus plus? Well, each of these has their own characteristics, and we can choose which is appropriate for a given situation. We'll start with the pre-increment, plus plus I. In this case, the variable is incremented, and then the value is returned as part of the expression, so the updated value is returned. The alternative form is I++. And in this form, the final value that's returned was the one that the variable had at the beginning, which is then incremented. So using each of these operators results in the variable being incremented, but a different value gets returned depending which one you have. So that's quite clear, quite straightforward, and it's simply a matter of choosing the right one for the right situation. That's easy. However, what if you are throwing away the value of the expression? So you're just using the plus plus operator to increment the variable and nothing else. Now, typically, you might do this in a for loop, for example. Now, I've always written for loops with the plus plus after the variables. I use I++ like this. That just sort of feels kind of natural, and I'm quite comfortable with it. However, one day, a compiler expert said to me, that's really not good C programming style. Style? Does style really matter? I'm interested in efficiency and readability of the code. And he said, well, actually it is more efficient to write it the other way. So in other words, the plus plus I version is considered better in some way. Now, I didn't understand this at all. It seemed to me quite illogical. The two expressions were having their values thrown away, so it doesn't really matter which of the two you use, and they're both clear enough to read, so where's the problem? Well, we can understand the problem if instead of thinking about C, we think briefly about C++, although the problem applies to C as well. But if we look at C++ code, here we have a class. Now this class is called integer, so it basically emulates the int data type. And the only operator I've defined here is the pre-increment version, the plus plus I. So if we look at the code here, the operator simply increments the x underscore internal variable and then returns that value. Very straightforward. So what about the post-increment version? Well, in this case, the code is very similar, except that we have a temporary variable. We use this to store the current value of the internal variable. We then increment that variable and return the temporary, which we stored before. So in other words, the plus plus I variant doesn't have any overheads particularly. The I++ variant does have the overhead of this additional temporary variable. Now, that may not seem like a very big overhead, and indeed it isn't in this case. However, that's what's going on under the hood, and it's well worth understanding it. If you're writing C++ code particularly, the increment process may be a lot more complex than that. I guess the bottom line is you need to understand what's going on behind the scenes when you're writing efficient, compact, embedded code. By the way, everything I said applied to the decrement operator as well, but that's kind of obvious. In future video blogs, I'll be talking about other aspects of the C language and trying to help you understand what's going on inside in those as well. Until then, it's bye for now.